Its philosophy and methods, sensation without limitations. Well, of course my people love me, only the insane would consider otherwise. Accelerate work on the Grand Hall of Sanctuary, so all may adore me even when I am not with them. From Walash Prixeti, the planetary governor of Prixeti 7. Slaanesh can see its hand at work across the galaxy in countless ways. The joy a parent feels when a child is born, the pride a Commodore feels when his fleet executes a cunning battle plan, the stirring of a lover's heart when in the embrace of a paramour, the heady rush of pleasurable relief that reminds a soldier how good it feels to be alive after an unexpected skirmish. All of these sensations, on some small level, are pleasing to the Master of Delights. They are not enough. Though the decimation of the Eldari and its pursuit of the remaining few of their species is a source of great joy to Slaanesh, it has much grander desires to fulfill. Every breath is an opportunity to take in a new scent. Each glass raised is a chance to savor a new flavor. On every battlefield, each chain-sword blow can elicit a never-before-heard, pain-filled scream. From its glittering palace in the Dark Prince's realm, the Lord of Excess revels in each new sensation discovered. It guides and directs the inhabitants of the galaxy to push ever onwards towards new heights of sensation. A god experiences existence on a level far beyond that of which a mortal can ever dare to dream. But that does not mean Slaanesh is content to leave the galaxy to its own devices. It sees the stars, the planets, and indeed the very fabric of reality itself as its plaything to be poked, prodded, ripped, and tightly bound to its will in order to squeeze out every last sensation there is to enjoy. Those who choose to serve it emulate Slaanesh as best as they can, limited as they are by mortal form and mortal imagination. In every corner of the galaxy, worshippers of Slaanesh spend their time inventing new delights and challenging themselves to craft experiences for themselves that no one has ever had before. This can be something as base as eliciting a new reaction to a carnal entwining, or as high-minded as creating a masterwork of art so profound that it brings tears to all who behold it. The truly inspired, though, have much larger stages to play upon. There are so few that have had the pleasure of seeing entire squads of Space Marines evaporate under the fire of a subjugator Chaos Titan. Fewer still are those who have heard a million voices cry out in fear, and then nothing but dripping stillness as nucleic acid bombs dissolve away flesh. Most lack the vision to create scenarios where these delights can be experienced. It is likely not even possible for the greatest excesses to be achieved in the mortal realm. In the realm of chaos, however, all things are possible. pleasure, obsession, and excess. Mere killing should never be enough. How much more intense is the feeling of inhaling the mist created when you vibrate a foe's body until he vaporizes? How much more completely have you explored all a person can offer you than when you breathe them into yourself, leaving only the memory of them still a part of this world? From Gileak's Sound Warden, a warpsmith, to the Emperor's children. Many of the factions of the Adeptus Monasterium and Adeptus Terra embody restraint and denial of base enjoyments, knowing the easiest path to corruption for most Imperial citizens is simply freedom. They impose harsh rules and ultimately a harsher existence on their people within the Imperium. For the greater good and the defense of all the Emperor has created, they dictate that each moment of a citizen's waking life be filled with labor, prayer, and punishment. They believe that a human mind left to reflect on anything else is liable to wander toward selfish thoughts and desires. To guard against the influence of the runer's powers, who use these thoughts as the crack through which they can claim a mortal soul. This cannot be allowed. There is a risk in this approach to order, for from it, chaos is easily born. The merciless attention of adepts, the harsh laws of planetary governors, and other agents of imperial laws have turned many who would otherwise never have embraced Slaanesh. A mind overwhelmed with hardship and unrelenting burden has no time for thoughts of sin. But when a moment does come, fleeting though it may be, it stands out against the darkness of life as a burning candle of possibility. For many who stray, sin is not an act undertaken for the sake of rebelliousness, but rather as a way to find relief. Relief from constant struggle, relief from dogmatic rules, relief from restraint. It is this relief that Slaanesh offers in over-generous amounts. It is not just the downtrodden people of the Imperium who feel the crush of hardship in a bleak and foreboding galaxy. War is a constant presence across the stars. Limitless numbers of beings compete for limited resources, creating conflict and strife everywhere. There are even humans who exist on the fringes of imperial rule for whom life is little better than if they were fully under its yoke. The harshness of life in the imperial center is overwhelming, but it does at least offer a modicum of safety compared to frontier existence. Life is hard and cruel everywhere in the galaxy, and any chance to feel some comfort is very difficult to resist, a fact the Dark Prince exploits to its advantage at every opportunity. A bit of kindness, a moment of joy, is often all it takes to set a soul on the path of damnation. It is not just a reprieve from suffering that lures so many toward their doom in the wicked embrace of the Prince of Pleasure. Comfort is but one sensation in a myriad of possibilities. What of those who, like the Eldari of old, have experienced what it means to live a life of luxury? removed from the harshness of daily torment that so many others suffer with. People with the time and the means often find experimentation appealing. The finest foods, the most exotic incense, musical performances from ancient peoples long extinct. Those with the wealth, time, or will to do so can procure all this and more. Yet obsession is not the exclusive province of the wealthy or powerful. A mind and body with no access to luxury can take delight in things that more prosperous individuals would never even notice. Something as simple as the sound of wood crackling in a fire, or the sight of drool forming patterns as it soaks into cloth, or even the taste of freshly cut fingernails can be the focus of an obsession. All that is required is a desire for more and a willingness to put aside restraints and limits. Neighboring homes are made from plenty of wood that can burn, and the people inside them have mouths filled with drool that can be coaxed out, and fingers that have plenty of nails to eat. It is a simple thing to indulge, especially once all attention is given over to the obsession and other regards are ignored. Regardless of the craving though, there are limits to how far a mortal can take their obsessions. There are actions and sensations that only a dark mind, aided by powerful allies, can experience. For instance, with the right mutations, fingers can become ethereal tentacles, able to pass through the skull and absorb the pleasurable memories of others directly. Given the right ritual devices infused with warp energy, a bold mortal can distill the fears of a tortured captive and create an exquisite libation not found in even the richest banquet hall. In exchange for as trifling a thing as a soul, a person can be given the power to be able to heal any wound instantly, allowing them to live over and over again through the experience of cutting out their own organs. All these sensations and so very many more are open to those with the desire to embrace obsession through service to the master of excess. And finally, addiction. When the Dark Prince tore a hole in reality with its coming, its nascent form knew only hunger and cruelty. It consumed billions of Eldari souls, reveling in their horror as they greeted eternal damnation deep within its form. Quickly it moved on to other torments, not only seeking ways to devour the rest of the species that had given it life, but taking delight in the task. The sensation of consuming those who had created it was a pleasure that few can comprehend. Ever since, Slaanesh has pushed itself to find new joys to fill the gaps between its soul meals. It takes delight in suffering and pain, and basks in the adoration of those it punishes. It is not a simple being, however, and these pleasures can only go so far in sating godly desires. Through its followers, Slaanesh continually experiments with sensation, all beings, both mortal and demonic, feel pride, want more, seek improvement, or obsess on both material and immaterial longings. The Lord of Excess gives these beings the power to claim what they seek, and in so doing allows them to experience the sensation of gratification. The cruel trick the Lord of Excess plays upon all its followers is that along with power, it also gives them cravings for more. It gives them addiction to sensation, as they sate themselves and in turn become insatiable. Slaanesh binds itself to its followers, and it feels what they feel. Each bolter recoil that jars the shoulder of the Chaos Space Marine firing becomes a lover's caress. Each drug-induced dream is shared as a sumptuous meal. Each vile urge of the Dark Prince is, to a tiny degree, passed back to its followers, rewarding them for their obsessive actions and inciting them to greater deeds. Even the other dark gods of chaos can satisfy the desires of Slaanesh through the actions of their servants. A berserker who kills in the name of Khorne is proud of his achievement and takes satisfaction from his gory deed, and Slaanesh feels that pride and the drive for greater glories. A spy whose actions topple a regime is rewarded for their service to Zinj, and delights in their stealth. Slaanesh feels that spark of pleasure and increases the mortal's need to perfect their abilities. A diseased plague victim that draws strength from Nurgle to survive rests with comfort, and Slaanesh fuels their love of the resulting indolence and serenity. In these ways, the actions and sensations of all beings can serve to feed the lustful hungers of the perfect prince.